YouTube, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. So right now it's Saturday, October 18th, and it's now about, it's a quarter to noon. And I'm still in Upper Alabama, at the QT. As I see, I'm on my veranda, chilling out. It's a nice breeze blowing, you know? Yeah, nice cool breeze. So, guys, the latest is that, as usual, I got a load offer, which is bull crap. They want me to drive almost 1,200 miles for $1,500. That's like about $1.20. I'll put it up on the screen. That is what they want me to do. And I'm saying, I really don't understand what these people, what they are thinking. What I don't know. But then, I'm also saying, but there are guys out here who are running these loads. And I'm saying, man, what's wrong with these guys? How the hell you get up and run a load paying $1.20 a mile? Jesus Christ. I don't understand. And then these guys will do all these crappy loads, and at the end of the week they'll have a check of like $2,500 to $3,000, and they believe that, yeah, I'm doing great. But at the end of the day, if they were getting good rates, they would be like doubling and tripling those figures, because what they have to do to make that 2.5 or 3 grand, man, I ain't doing it. Also, guys, let me address a comment that one of the viewers made on the last video. So yeah, as usual, guys, I encourage the comments. It's somebody's opinion, it's his suggestion, I respect that. But yeah, he said his honest opinion is that super ego is not for me, because what he says, I should go back to being a company driver, that pays percent and so on, because at super ego you have to run hard. And it leads me to think, what is running hard? I don't understand. What's running hard? Since coming to super ego, I've driven 10 plus miles religiously. Sorry, 10 plus hours religiously. I think that's running hard. So is it that running hard is violating the hours of service? I'd like you, sir, to tell me, is that the definition of running hard? Violating hours of service. If that is running hard, I will never run hard. That will never happen, because I'm not violating no hours of service. Right? Listen, at the end of the day, you must know your work and know your worth. It's as simple as that. I know my work. My work is to deliver freight, to pick up and deliver. And part of my job is to pick up on time, deliver on time. Another very important of my job is to do that legally, right? By obeying the traffic laws and by staying within the guidelines and the guidelines of the Department of Transport and the FMCSA and all of them things. That's a part of my job. That's my work, right? To do my pre-trip, to do my post-trip, to, see to it that my tractor and trailer is properly maintained, and so on. That's my work. I also know my worth. right? I know that as a lease operator, I should be making at least $2,000 each week take home. I know that because a company entry level driver should be able to take home $1,000 each week, right? So I know my worth. Now, let me just point to a video that I stumbled across last night. This is a guy who runs a class during orientation at Super Ego. His name, The Hammer. He runs a class there. When I got to that class, I sat and I listened. I paid attention. I picked up a few things, but majority of what this guy was teaching in the class only solidifies what I had taught myself running a tractor trailer back home in Jamaica, and what I also researched and taught myself about running a tractor trailer here in the United States. When I got there, I heard him speaking about getting your fuel card, your own fuel card. I ordered my fuel card before I got there. The only thing I didn't move to was getting an easy pass, and I would have had that now. That would be in hand now if it wasn't that Super Ego was messing around with the rates that they are offering me. I had amassed all the tools and the know-how in order to be successful out here. And I'm going to show you my space statement for last week. Last week I did 2 loads. And those 2 loads I got, I think it's $480 something I got for that 2 loads. And I want you to pay attention to the section that deals with fueling. Guys, I have learned how to optimize my fuel solutions. I've taught myself how to do that. I haven't used my fuel card as yet because, as I'm saying, Super Ego is messing around. But guys, listen to this gentleman. Just take a listen.
So you have to be able to analyze your statement thoroughly, break it down. So I tell them you need to break things down per mile. You need to know your cost per mile. You need to know your rate per mile, because if you subtract your cost from your rate, that is your margin. Yeah. And with that margin, that's what you run your business with. Yeah. Okay. Your goal is to get that margin as healthy as possible. A comfortable margin, I would say, in lease purchasing is about around maybe closest to $1 over. I mean, you can survive at 80, 85 cents. That's not where you want to be. But you don't want to be anywhere less than that, say 60 cents. Because, that means you only have enough to pay your driver. You don't have enough to put away for your maintenance and profitability. Yeah. And that's what I explain to drivers. You got to be able to break it down to the smallest part. Yeah. You get paid by the load, but you need to break it down by the mile in order to understand the small parts to see where your money is actually going.
No, guys, what he's saying is only it's only strengthening my stance not to take no loads under $2 per mile. I stumbled across this video last night. He didn't say this in the class. So if this man is running a class inside Super Ego, he works for them, how is it that Super Ego is giving me loads for $1.20, $1.60, $1.80, $1.90? I don't understand. I don't understand. Now, I also spoke on this channel about what I've learned about drivers who were coming in at Super Eagle and listen what the gentleman has to say in regards to that.
I've seen drivers come up here at times, and they say they had a statement and said 600. Well, drivers didn't even know it was negative 600, and all you have to do is add up all your deductions and what you gross after your 25%, and then what your deductions, and it'll tell you exactly what it is.
There you have it. These guys come to Super Ego only knowing how to drive, right? And they're basically just chasing their tails. And they might carry home a few dollars, yes, but you know, at the end of the day, if they were doing what they are doing and they were getting good rates, these guys would be well off. They would be at an easy street. Now, guys, the teacher is saying that you must know how to read your statements. You must know what your rate per mile is, you must know what your cost per mile is, and you must know your margin. And he is saying a comfortable margin is $1, which is the difference between your rate per mile and your cost per mile. The difference there should be at least $1. Therefore, I shouldn't be taking any loads less than $2.66 per mile. Now tell me if I'm misunderstanding YouTube. I need to know if I'm misunderstanding. Let me know. Guys, I can tell you this. I'm not running no more bullshit loads. And I made it clear to them, if I can't get proper rates, I'm asking respectfully, bring me back to the yard, let me hand over their equipment, and for me to leave amicably. That's all I'm saying. They called me this morning with that bullshit load. I'm still here waiting. So guys, that is what I go on and what I go on for now. Talk to you later.